Welcome in again to Big 12 Blabber. This is Max Dible, the Iowa State Daily sports reporter and assistant sports editor.
And I am Alex Gookin, and I am the assistant sports editor as well as men's basketball reporter.
So Alex, we got to see another really tight one tonight. Iowa State wins by 2 points again for the second night in a row. First it was Texas, second it was Oklahoma. What were some of the parallels in this game to that first contest? What were some of the differences you saw?
Well, the parallels, obviously, another pretty slow start by the Cyclones. They were down 11 early on in this one. They were down by, I think, as much as 15 or 16 points yesterday in the Texas game. So slow starts have been a big problem for the Cyclones here in the early going. But second half, they've just been able to get going. And this time it was not George Niang and Monte Morris that needed to have big games for the Cyclones. It was more of a balanced attack with Jameel McKay, Monte George, and Bryce DeJean-Jones all scoring in double figures for the Cyclones.
Yep, 4 guys in double figures. Bryce DeJean-Jones coming off the bench scored 10. Also was tasked with guarding Buddy Hield, the Big 12 Player of the Year. And while Hield did score 16, which was close to his season average, took him 20 shots to get there, and that was pretty much all DeJean-Jones. That defensive effort can't really go unmentioned because that inefficiency is going to have a ripple effect across the entire team. So that was really big on his part. Also scoring 10 points, hit a couple big shots there. I think he reeled off 5 points in a row on 2 consecutive possessions at a crucial point in the game. And then the other guy you mentioned was Jameel McKay. He came out, scored the first 6 of the second half. You know, he was out there with his hands, getting the crowd involved. He's kind of become the head cheerleader on this team as well. And those 2 guys, the 2 transfers, this program's been built on transfers, and now we see it tonight. They've, helped to propel Iowa State to 4 consecutive NCAA tournament berths, assuming we're going to go ahead and assume that they're going to get in this year.
We're a lock at this point.
Yeah, and they propelled now Iowa State to its second consecutive appearance in a Big 12 tournament championship game. So they've got Kansas tomorrow. It'll also be the 3rd time those teams have met. Iowa State won the rubber match against Oklahoma. Do you see the same kind of outcome tomorrow against Kansas, and do you think it'll be another very tight game?
I do. I don't think that the Big 12 is a league where there are blowout games. There just are very few, and in this type of environment, it's going to be close. It's going to be basically Fog Allen and Hilton Coliseum colliding here at the Sprint Center with both fan bases traveling extremely well. Kansas does not have Cliff Alexander due to some NCAA regulation, questionable things going on right now. So it'll be maybe a little bit more evenly matched talent-wise for Iowa State. And with a championship game like this, you just have to expect both teams to show up, and I think they will tomorrow. And it'll be a great game regardless of who wins. Iowa State right now kind of seems to have the momentum as far as second half, late game trends.
Well, ever since they lost that game to Kansas State, they gave up a double-digit lead to Kansas State in the second half, ended up losing by a point. Since then, against Oklahoma, TCU, Texas, and now Oklahoma again, they've come back from being down by double digits at some point. So no lead is ever safe against Iowa State, but no lead is ever safe against Kansas. Now, these are, I think, the 2 best teams in the conference. You can certainly make an argument for Oklahoma. We saw the bench play tonight, though. I think that might be what separates them and puts them just a notch below Iowa State, because Iowa State outscored them 17-2 from the bench. If they can get some similar bench production, I think that they've got a good chance to win. They controlled the game against Kansas at home. They had a double-digit lead in the second half there. Kansas certainly controlled the game against them in Lawrence, against Iowa State in Lawrence. So now we're here at Hilton South, but it's also kind of a home away from home for Kansas. So I think for the first time these last 2 games we've seen the crowd has been crazy, and it's been almost all Iowa State fans in these 2 games. It's going to be a pretty even split tomorrow. So Iowa State won't have that advantage. It'll be interesting to see, but we'll get to it, and we'll be back tomorrow after the championship game to talk Big 12 Blabber one last time.
We'll see you then.
Peace.